Police have finally addressed the shocking discovery of human remains found near the Arizona home of Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, and the newest update has left the public both relieved and even more intrigued. What began as a chilling development in one of the most closely followed missing persons cases in America quickly turned into another strange twist in a mystery that has gripped millions for more than 3 months. For a few tense hours, many feared investigators had uncovered the heartbreaking answer to what happened to Nancy. But according to police, the truth is far more unexpected. On May 7, 2026, a YouTube streamer who had been independently searching for clues in the case made a disturbing discovery in a desert wash near River Road and Craycroft Road in Tucson, Arizona. The area is located about 7 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home in the Catalina foothills, where she vanished in the early morning hours of February 1st. The searcher noticed what appeared to be a human leg bone partially exposed in the dry terrain and immediately contacted authorities. Within minutes, police vehicles flooded the scene, investigators cordoned off the area, and online speculation exploded. As word spread that human remains had been found near Nancy Guthrie's home, social media erupted. Some people were convinced this was the major break everyone had been fearing. Others begged for patience and urged the public not to jump to conclusions. For Savannah Guthrie and her family, the sudden development brought another agonizing wave of uncertainty. Every new clue in this case carries the potential for either hope or heartbreak. Later that day, Tucson Police issued a statement that dramatically changed the narrative. Officials confirmed the bone was indeed human, but they also said there was no indication that it was related to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Investigators described the discovery as part of a prehistoric anthropological investigation, meaning the remains are believed to be extremely old and not connected to any modern criminal case. The University of Arizona Department of Anthropology and the Pima County Medical Examiner were brought in to examine the bone more closely. That announcement brought a measure of relief, but it did not end the intense emotions surrounding this case. Many followers said they felt physically sick when they first saw the headlines, only to exhale when police clarified that the remains were unrelated. Others pointed out how tragic it is that the family must relive this cycle of fear every time a new lead emerges. The discovery may not solve the case, but it has once again drawn national attention to Nancy's still unsolved disappearance. To understand why this story has captured so much public interest, it is important to go back to the night Nancy vanished. Nancy, a beloved mother and grandmother, was last seen on January 31, 2026, after spending the evening with family. She was dropped off at her Tucson home shortly before 10 p.m. Everything appeared normal, but sometime during the night, something went terribly wrong. The next morning, Nancy failed to attend a church service she was expected to join online. Concerned relatives went to her house and made a horrifying discovery. Nancy was gone. Her personal belongings, including essential items, had been left behind. Investigators quickly determined the circumstances were highly suspicious and began treating the home as a crime scene. Authorities later revealed that blood found at the residence was confirmed to be Nancy's. That chilling detail transformed the case from a missing person investigation into what police believe was a targeted abduction. Pima County Sheriff Chris Nanos said from the beginning that he believed Nancy had been taken against her will. Given her age and medical needs, the urgency was immediate. One of the most haunting pieces of evidence came from Nancy's doorbell camera. Even though the camera was tampered with, investigators were able to recover footage showing a masked man outside the home in the early hours of February 1st. The individual was wearing gloves, carrying a backpack, and appeared to be armed. In the video, the suspect can be seen attempting to disable the camera by covering it with leaves from a nearby potted plant. Those grainy images sent shockwaves across the country. The FBI released still photographs and video clips asking the public for help identifying the man. Authorities described him as approximately 5 feet 9 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall, with an average build. Despite thousands of tips, no suspect has been publicly identified. Savannah Guthrie Guthrie, known to millions as one of America's most recognizable morning television hosts, immediately stepped away from her duties to focus on finding her mother. Her emotional public statements resonated with viewers around the world. In one interview, Savannah described the ordeal in a single devastating word: unbearable. She spoke lovingly about her mother, calling her strong, intelligent, and deeply cherished by her family. Savannah and her siblings made repeated pleas directly to whoever may be holding Nancy, begging for her safe return. Their message was simple and heartbreaking: please bring our mom home. As the weeks passed, the family increased the reward for information. Combined offers from the FBI and the Guthrie family brought the total reward to more than $1.2 million. That extraordinary amount reflects both the seriousness of the case and the family's determination to leave no stone unturned. Nancy's disappearance also sparked intense media coverage and nationwide public interest. People who had watched Savannah Guthrie on television for years felt personally connected to the story. Thousands shared Nancy's photo online, discussed the case in forums, and followed every update with hope that she would be found alive. Investigators pursued numerous leads. Search teams combed desert terrain and neighborhoods around Tucson. Forensic experts analyzed blood, hair, and DNA evidence recovered from the home and nearby areas. Surveillance footage from surrounding homes and businesses was reviewed frame by frame. Still, despite enormous resources, the mystery remained unsolved. One of the most important developments involved a hair sample believed to be significant to the investigation. Authorities have been using advanced forensic genealogy, a technique that compares unknown DNA to large family tree databases to identify distant relatives. This method has helped solve many cold cases and may prove crucial here. Sheriff Chris Nanos recently said investigators are closer to solving the case than they were before. While he did not disclose specific evidence, his statement has fueled optimism that a breakthrough may be approaching. Those words gave the Guthrie family and the public a renewed sense of hope. The case has also been marked by public disagreements over how the investigation was handled. FBI Director Kash Patel criticized delays in getting certain evidence to federal laboratories, while local officials defended their decisions and insisted they had worked closely with federal authorities from the beginning. Although these disputes drew headlines, both agencies continue to say they are committed to finding Nancy. Meanwhile, bizarre developments have added even more intrigue. Reports surfaced of ransom-related messages sent to media outlets, including demands involving cryptocurrency. Authorities have not publicly confirmed whether these messages were authentic or simply hoaxes intended to exploit the case. Through it all, Savannah Guthrie has remained remarkably composed in public, even as she endures unimaginable private pain. Viewers have seen the emotional toll in her voice and expressions. Friends and colleagues have rallied around her, offering support as she balances her role as a journalist with her role as a daughter desperate for answers. Nancy Guthrie is described by those who know her as kind, independent, and deeply devoted to her family. She had lived in the Tucson area for decades and was active in her community and church. Her disappearance has left an enormous void in the lives of everyone who loves her. That is why the discovery of human remains near her home was so unsettling. Even though police now believe the bone is prehistoric and unrelated, the news briefly forced everyone to confront the possibility of a tragic outcome. It was a stark reminder of how emotionally charged this investigation has become. Experts say the region around Tucson contains many archaeological sites, and ancient remains are not unheard of in desert washes. That context supports the police conclusion that this was an anthropological discovery rather than evidence linked to Nancy's case. Still, for those following the story, the discovery served as a dramatic reminder that the search is far from over. Every tip, every piece of forensic evidence, and every public statement is scrutinized for signs that the truth is finally within reach. Public reaction has been intense. Some commenters said they burst into tears when they saw the initial headlines. Others expressed relief after learning the remains were not connected to Nancy. Many continue to post messages of hope, prayer, and support for Savannah and her family. The emotional roller coaster has been exhausting, but the family has refused to lose faith. They continue to urge anyone with information, no matter how small, to come forward. In missing person cases, even the smallest overlooked detail can become the key that unlocks the entire mystery. As of today, Nancy Guthrie has still not been found. No arrests have been announced, and investigators have not publicly named a suspect. But authorities insist the case remains active and that meaningful progress is being made behind the scenes. So, where does the story stand right now? Human remains were found near Nancy Guthrie's Tucson home, but police say the bone appears to be ancient and unrelated to her disappearance. The remains are being studied as part of a prehistoric anthropological investigation, not a criminal one. At the same time, the search for Nancy continues with the full attention of local law enforcement, the FBI, forensic specialists, and a family determined to bring her home. The case remains one of the most haunting and high-profile mysteries of 2026. For Savannah Guthrie, every day without answers is another day of uncertainty, yet she continues to speak with hope, courage, and unwavering love for her mother. Millions of people are standing with her, hoping that the next update will finally bring the breakthrough everyone has been waiting for. Until that day comes, the questions remain. Who was the masked intruder caught on camera? Why was Nancy targeted? And where is she now? Those are the answers investigators are working around the clock to uncover. What began as a terrifying disappearance has evolved into a national story of grief, determination, and hope. And while the discovery of human remains turned out to be unrelated, it has only intensified public interest in finding the truth. The world continues to watch, the family continues to hope, and investigators continue to search. Somewhere the answer exists, and everyone following this case is praying that Nancy Guthrie will be found and that her loved ones will finally receive the closure they so desperately deserve. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.